Good to meet you, Morgan. So this is your workplace.
Yes, it is. It's one of our many. My name's Morgan Eddy with Steel Foundation. We help to design and build the underpinning and shoring work for the Howard Theater. We deal with steel all the time. This particular case here, this was an existing column, and we had to dig down 15 feet below it. So to facilitate that, we need to install micropiles. We have these existing beams in the way. The existing ground was only about 2 feet below where I'm standing, so we only had about 10 foot of clearance to get a drill rig in here to actually drill the micropile in. This is where we start using these real specialized drill rigs that can get into these tight spaces.
Is it noisy like this all day?
All day. All day. Noise means money, so that's a good thing.
Now we're below grade. And you have some handiwork down here that can't really be seen, but it's important.
Yeah, we're standing underneath the stage area right now, and there's two walls behind me and in front of me that are supporting the interior wall above. You can't see our work now, but we have micropiles underneath that wall. Those micropiles are supporting the new structure as well as the existing structure. These were used as well as temporary elements too. We were first shoring up the wall up high. We used those micropiles. Once the new foundation was poured, they attached those new foundations to our micropiles. So you can't see them anymore, but they're still keeping the structure stable.
What's it feel like to work in a space that's so historic, with so many different materials and different people, and try to pull it all together?
Well, it really makes you bring your A game, because you got a lot of really critical things that are out here, and if this old structure were to move or collapse, it would really be a nightmare for both us as the contractor and the owner. So it really made us bring our top-notch stuff. We spent a lot of time on this, really thinking about all the issues.
Now you're familiar with working with masonry walls. What was it like to work with these?
Well, these are some heavy walls. These guys go up about 40 to 50 feet on this side and up to almost 60 feet or more on the other side of the job. Originally, the ground was just several feet below where I'm standing, and so what we had to do is pick these guys up. We first started by drilling micropiles on each side of the wall. We extended those piles down beneath the new excavation. Then we pocketed holes in the wall. I think you can see one right around in here. There's another one right here. Another one here. So what we did was put a piece of steel on top of the micropiles, then pocket through the wall, pick up the wall, and that allowed for then, at that point, to dig beneath the wall. And then these walls were sitting on the steel frame, which is then sitting on the micropile.
Well, it looks pretty stable.
Oh yeah, it's definitely stable now. With those micropiles, we actually used them both as a temporary shoring device, as well as the new foundation, which is 15 feet below us, is attached to those micropiles as well. So they were used from temporary to permanent, and so they're still being used today.
How old do you think this masonry is?
This is back from 1910 or so. When the original structure was built, I guess, beginning of the century. So they've been around for a long time, and they should be around for another 100 years.
What's it like to work next to a neighbor like this?
Well, it just complicates the job a little bit. It really brought up the idea of sequencing to us. Who's doing what? When are they doing it? Who's doing it first? You know, our idea was we wanted to get in and stabilize the Howard Theater with the micropiles and the shoring before this development started progressing down below Howard Theater. They're actually about 15 to 20 feet below the deepest excavation over here at Howard. So to us, it was a matter of really being able to shore up Howard Theater first, and really getting the concrete structure built first before they really start digging next to it.
Did it work out the way you expected?
Well, we're not completely sure, but the Howard Theater hasn't moved. They did hold up their excavation till the Howard Theater was quite a far long way in construction. So I think it worked out okay. Final will still be told. We'll see how it all works out. But it looks like for now, Howard Theater's not going anywhere.
How long before we'll know?
Well, when they get their structure up to the same grade as here and there's no movements, then we'll be satisfied that everything was done successfully.
So as long as there's no cracks on opening day, you guys are cleared.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, everybody's cleared. No cracking. That'd be a good thing.
seeing this all come together must really be satisfying.
Yeah, it really is. You know, we were in the bottom of this hole 8 months ago, wondering when we'd get out. But really all came together. It's really good to see other trades getting in here and finishing off the job. You don't really get to see our work anymore. It's starting to get covered up. But without a foundation, none of this would have been possible. You know, with the wet soils down at subgrade, we had to go to a micropile system, which really ended up being the most cost-effective and time-saving approach for this job. Is get the existing Howard Theater on some deep foundations so you can pretty much do whatever else you need to do, and then start building up the concrete structure.